Gatsby's Manor, one of the biggest houses in all of West and East Egg. Huge fountain, huge front entrance, and huge gardens and a huge hall. Long table for all of his guests and parties, extra seating and tables everywhere. Beautiful flooring with gold and prime wood. Let's go check the second floor. Beautiful lighting throughout the house. An overview of the first floor. Looks like there's a garden over there. Some extra seating. Some windows all around to check outside. A great view from upstairs to downstairs. And another great window to watch the sunset and sunrise. Let's go up to the final floor, or the roof. Up here, there are some people. We have Myrtle with some pyramids. These pyramids represent hierarchy pyramid of Maslow. The pyramid represents tiers of a person in their lifetime. At the bottom, there's physical needs, then safety needs, then belonging and love needs, then esteem, then self-accusation. The bottom tier is physical with food and water and your basic necessities. Then there's safety, so you need to be secure and safe. And then there's intimate relationships and your belongingness and love. And then there's your esteem, so feeling accomplished with things you do. And then self-accusation of where you achieve your full potential in life. With this, we have Myrtle. Myrtle is shown to not reach self-accusation, but to be the lowest on the pyramid. With an example of Myrtle having her nose broke, it is stated, making a short, deft movement, Tom Buchanan broke her nose with his open hand. This shows that Myrtle was indeed not safe, so she was stuck on the first level. Another example is on page 136, where Tom states, I've got my wife locked up in there. He is stating that he locked his wife up in the house to make sure she wouldn't leave. This is showing that she isn't safe and that she is being taken hostage, pretty much. And then the last example of Myrtle is on page 137, where she is shown screaming, beat me, throw me down and beat me, you dirty little coward. She is saying this to Mr. Wilson as he is abusing her upstairs. So she is shown being abused and unsafe in her household.
Top has been shown in the book to be near the top of the pyramid, because one of many reasons is he has a very large house. This can be shown by the quote, their house was even more elaborate than I expected, a cheerful red and white Georgian colonial mansion.
Mic off. Mic feedback off.
This quote was when Nick was walking up to their house for the very first time, and he was impressed by the size of it. Another reason why Tom is near the top of the pyramid is because his wife is one of the most beautiful girls of New York, and he also has a mistress. The mistress can be shown by the quote, she smiled slowly and walking through her husband as if he were a ghost, shook hands with Tom, looking him flush in the eye, then she wet her lips. I want to see you, said Tom intently, get on the next train. This is when Tom was introducing Nick to Myrtle for the very first time, and it was right before they went to the apartment in New York to get
Mic
have a
on.
party.
Mic feedback on.
The final reason why Tom is at the very top is because he's very confident in himself. An example of confident is when he was arguing with Gatsby about Daisy loving him. Tom said, "But all the rest, that's a goddamn lie. Daisy loved me when she married me, and she loves me now," which is showing that Tom was extremely confident that she loved him and has always loved him, and she doesn't actually love Gatsby. Tom is represented by the color blue, which can be signified by his car in the book, and it shows that Tom lives a calm life and is a very intelligent person.
The next person we believe to be at the top of the pyramid is Daisy. We believe this because she is one of the most sought after women in New York. The first example of this is on page 132, with her stating, "Oh, you want too much," as she cried to Gatsby. "I love you now. Isn't that enough? I can't help what's past." She begun to sob helplessly. "I did love him once, but I loved you too." She is stating this because she is sought after by two men at the same time, but also different times. She is shown having a choice to pick between the man she is married to now or the man that she used to love, and it is a hard decision for her to make. The next example that she made was on page 127, where she states, "If you're going to make personal remarks, I won't stay here a minute. Call up and order some ice for the mint julep." She is telling this to Tom, and that she wants to have some ice on this hot day for everyone. He does this reluctantly without saying a word because he knows that he has gotten one of the best women he has ever seen. And then the final example is shown on page 117, where Daisy shows off her daughter. She says, "How do you like your mother's friends?" Daisy turned her around so that she faced Gatsby. "Do you think you're pretty? Where's Daddy?" "She doesn't look like her father," explained Daisy. "She looks like me. She's got my hair and shape of the face." She states this to show that her child, in fact, isn't supposed to be its own thing. It's supposed to be Daisy's trophy to show off to others and show that Daisy made something so beautiful and something that looks exactly like her. Daisy's color we presume to be white due to her name being Daisy, and Daisy being a white, beautiful color that many people desire.
George is at the very bottom of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs because he is quite poor, as shown by he lives in the Valley of Ashes. This was first introduced when Tom was taking Nick to go see, which can be shown when Nick's followed him over
Mic
to the
off.
White
Mic
House
feedback
building,
off.
and we walked back 100 yards along the road under Dr. Eckleberg's persistent stare. The only building in sight was a small block of yellow brick sitting at the edge of the wasteland, a sort of compact main street. The third building was the garage repairs, George B. Wilson, cars bought and sold, and I followed Tom inside. That quote was when Tom and Nick went in to see Myrtle. This segues right into the fact that Myrtle, who is George's wife, is cheating on him with Tom, which can be shown by by how Tom frequently takes Myrtle up to restaurants that are very fancy without George knowing, and brags about her. This is shown in the quote, "His acquaintances
Mic
resurrected
on.
the fact
Mic
that he ended up
feedback
in popular
on.
restaurants with her, and leaving her at a table, sauntered about, chatting with whosoever he knew. Final reason why George is at the very bottom is he is not very confident in himself and doesn't trust others. This can be shown by the fact that he locked up Myrtle because he didn't trust her to not cheat on him. Said, "I've got my wife locked up in there," explained Wilson calmly. "She's going to stay there till the day after tomorrow, then we're going to move away." George can be represented by the color gray, which is signified by living in the Valley of Ashes, and it shows that he lives a very boring life.
With all those examples, this is why we believe that George and Myrtle are at the bottom of the pyramid, while Daisy and Tom have reached self-actualization on the pyramid. Thank you. This presentation was made by Owen Curtis and
Jack Stoner.
thank you.